The Ark Raiders release date trailer has been out for over a month now, and despite racking up over 1 million views, we've all been watching a potentially new gameplay feature that, for the most part, has gone unnoticed. Until now. So, let's talk about it. In my last video, we explored some compelling evidence suggesting that Embark Studios is building Speranza into a fully explorable underground hub. But today, we're taking things a step further by looking into the possibility of getting workshop companions, or as I like to call them, a scavenger's best friend. And for those of you who do follow this channel, make sure to stick around until the end. I'll be sharing some of the top comments from the last video and highlighting some of my favorites. So let's start with what we do know about the one and only workshop companion that currently exists in the game. During Tech Test 2, once players arrived at their base, they were greeted by a small, unassuming rooster named Scrappy. This light-footed legend wasn't just there to stand in the corner acting as a decoration. Quite the opposite. Scrappy was a full-fledged pick-and-pull master, acting as a free resource generator operating 24/7. In essence, he acted as the game's built-in safety net, making sure you always had basic materials to work with, even if your raids didn't go as planned. And let's be honest, Scrappy wasn't just useful, he was a hit. Fans quickly latched onto him as he became a symbol of hope, a rooster of resistance, if you will. So to the surprise of many fans, including myself, when Scrappy was completely missing from the release date trailer, I had some serious concerns. Was he gone for good? Or was he just off doing what he does best, digging through scrap heaps and dodging Ark patrols? Determined to find the answers, I dove into the Ark Raiders Discord, and here's what I discovered. On May 5th, Tech Test 2 officially ended. 2 days later, we received a thank you note that went something like this.
Reports of Ark activity in the area have decreased significantly, so take it easy for a while. Get some rest, stretch your legs, maybe take Scrappy for a walk. Just don't wander too far. Topside never stays peaceful for long.
This was the first mention of Scrappy after the tech test, and it was a nice nod to his growing popularity. A few days later, the Ark Raiders Discord hit 100,000 members, and what better way to celebrate than to include a post that prominently featured Scrappy in the foreground. At that point, it seemed as if our feathered friend was getting just as much hype as the game itself. But then, with a sad turn of events, everything changed once Summer Game Fest 2025 came around. With hype for the game reaching an all-time high and rumors of a potential shadow drop, it seemed quite possible that we were going to reunite with Scrappy much sooner than expected. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. Instead, what we got was an inevitable release date trailer. And to make matters worse, Scrappy was nowhere to be found. I thought to myself, how is that possible? How could a beloved companion become so quickly discarded, tossed aside like a 2-week-old chicken nugget? The answer became apparent in the following post that Embark dropped the very next day. In bold text, it plainly stated, "We mismanaged the hype. We misread the situation, and we're so sorry that this led to disappointment." While I do agree this apology is honest, simple, and very much appreciated, it's important to note that mismanaging the hype didn't just apply to the game's release. It also included the derailed hype train that we so affectionately call Scrappy. Somewhere along these tracks, the voice of the community was no longer being heard, which meant there was a notable breakdown in communication. Now, the cause of this breakdown could be made into a whole separate video in itself, but the silver lining in all of this is that for all intents and purposes, Scrappy wasn't being scrapped after all. He was just a victim of the circumstance. Better yet, I believe his being overlooked gave us a glimpse into what is the first of several workshop companions coming to Ark Raiders. What makes me so sure, you might ask? Well, take a look again at the opening scenes from the release date trailer. Not only do we see a cat walking across an interior room of Speranza, but there's also food that's been collected from the surface by the main character. She even goes out of her way in the trailer to get the vital supplies she needs for her furry little friend. This was the exact same method that was used during the tech test in order to level up Scrappy. If that's not enough to convince you that Scrappy is the first of more workshop companions to come, See if you can pick out the sound of another animal that's been heard around Speranza. That's right. We may just well be hearing and seeing proof of additional companions such as a rooster, a cat, and of course, a man's best scavenger friend. Oh, and just to be sure I wasn't hearing things, I spotted this little guy while editing my video, so we can have even more reasons to be confident about what's to come. So what do you think about this idea? Will we actually get additional workshop companions to accompany us, or is this just far-reaching speculation? If we are getting some of them, which ones would you like to see being added? Let me know in the comments and we'll discuss it in the next video. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed my take on what just might be coming to Ark Raiders in the near future. I have more content already in the works, so if that sounds interesting to you, feel free to stick around for more. But before we go, let's wrap up with some of your comments. Regarding the topic of whether or not Speranza would be made into an open world hub, Aussie Man commented, "I would enjoy a free roam social hub, but I would like it more if it was optional, which would provide the choice to how the player wants to engage in between missions." I think that's a great idea. Giving players more options, especially when dealing with menu screens and lobbies, is always welcome. Thanks for the feedback, Aussie Man. Next, we have Nitra, who says, "Personally, I don't think they'll do it. The time and effort that would have to go into making the hub feel truly interactive and not just a hurdle to get through wouldn't be worth the time investment." I've noticed that other players have that same feeling, and of course, nothing is guaranteed when it comes to speculation on a gameplay feature. However, I do think the time and effort it would take to create a seamless, free-roaming hub would absolutely be worth it in my opinion. Embark has already proven to us their ability to create quality content when they are given ample time to work on a project. Either way, I appreciate your comment, Nitra, and thanks for your input. Well, that will do it for this video. If you have anything else you would like to add, please comment below. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one.